Welcome, collective. I hope you're having a fantastic day or evening wherever you are. I'm here to do another reading. So on the bottom of the deck we have Uruz. The second rune, Uruz. So Uruz represents strength, power, health or good health, endurance, and manifestation. So it's a good strong, that's the shadow of the deck today. So I have laid out your cards, and the first card we have some repeating cards from other readings here, which I always find interesting. However, first card today we have is Sif. So Sif is Thor's wife. She is known as the Skjaldmar of Fi. So I guess you'd say like the queen of Fi. Goddess of fertility and the earth. Symbol of harvest and natural cycles. And the wife of Thor. Sif embodies the harmony between man and nature. The wealth that comes from respecting natural rhythms, symbolizing balance, nourishment, stable abundance. Sif invites you to respect times and cycles to obtain lasting results. So that's the first card we have today, and it's flanking our crowning card. The crowning card today, interestingly, is the Berserker. So the Berserker is of the suit of Ulfber, and he is the 9 of Ulfber. And the 9 of Ulfber is our Hersia of Ulfber. Warrior in a trance, possessed by divine fury. The Berserker is the blind fury that does not wait. The overwhelming and courageous energy that sweeps away fear, but also lucidity, symbolizing instinct, absolute courage, action without limits. The Berserker pushes you to act with all of yourself. It's time to launch yourself, even without guarantees. So this is our crowning card. So it often symbolizes like the overview of the energies at the moment. And it's definitely interesting considering what is going on in the world at the moment. So next to him, which we have had in another reading but in a totally different position, we have Surt. So Surt is the fire. Yes, I think that lighting's a little bit better now. So Surt, or Surtur, is the Jarl of Ulfber. Fire giant, the one who will start Ragnarok with his flaming sword. Surt is the cosmic fire, inevitable destruction, but also the principle of rebirth, symbolizing overwhelming power, total transformation, command. Surt pushes you to lead decisively and to accept destruction as a passage. So that one is flanking our crowning card here. So we have some kind of really powerful force, and it is linked in here with our fertility fertile earth, feminine energy. It's really interesting. Okay, the next one we have is, this is flanking our central card, Dainsleif. So another from the suit of Ulfbert. However, this one is the 8. So the 8 is the sword of King Hognathat. Or it could be Hugnathat. Cannot be drawn without killing, symbolizing point of no return, fatal choice, final act. Dainsleif is the last word, act, but accept the consequences. So be aware of such dramatic decisions in your life and the consequences that can come from such decisions. So the central card we have today is the rune Ewas. So it's quite a special rune. So the central card Ewas, representing magic, liberation, rebirth, awakening, protection, defense, death, and rebirth, symbolizing resistance, transformation, spiritual protection. Ewas helps you overcome difficult times with inner strength. It's a really beautiful rune, and to have as the central rune for the reading today, card for the reading today. The next one we have is Kaunan, and this is flanking. So Kaunan is enlightenment, creativity, skill, offspring, and learning. Fire and transformative transformation through pain, symbolizing revelation, growth through difficulties. Kaunan indicates a moment of profound change. So this is a really intense card for the central reading cards. You know, this is all about consequences. This one's about transformation through pain. And this one is like this death rebirth energy, which we kind of had a little bit here also with, you know, the Berserker and Surt. So the next card we have, flanking the base of the matter, is Skidblinir. And so this is of the suit of Harv, which is the water suit, and it's actually the Jarl of Harv, the perfect ship built by the dwarves. It folds and unfolds at will and always finds favorable winds. Skidblinir is the ideal journey, the harmonious connection between elements. It is the ability to be carried, to adapt with grace and intelligence, symbolizing fluidity, balance, openness. Skidblinir gives you in the flow of events, showing you how to move. So our base of the matter card today, which is interesting because it's actually in the major arcana for this deck, is Yggdrasil. So it's the World Tree, which is a really significant card. And then considering it's the only like major card that we have in this reading, and it being the base of the matter is really interesting. So the World Tree is the cosmic tree that unites the 9 worlds, supporting the entire universe with its roots and branches, representing universal harmony, the completed cycle, the connection between all things, completion, integration, unity. invites you to celebrate your fulfillment and your place in the world. You have achieved a profound balance. And then the last card we have today here is from the Suit of Fee, and this is Hildskjalf, which is of the Suit of Fee, and it's actually Odin's throne, from which he observes all the worlds, symbolizing broad vision, wisdom, control. Hildskjalf invites you to look beyond, to make conscious decisions. So it's quite interesting, I think, here with the base of the matter being the tree, and then having the ship that has favorable winds, and then Odin's throne, which sees everything that's going on. So there's a real completion energy here, but there's, you know, you're going in the right direction, and you can see the way this is going to complete. It's interesting. Okay, the next cards I'm going to use to clarify are the Pagan Otherworlds. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is about a new beginning on a fiery level. By that I mean like passions, desires, that kind of thing. So you might find that you have new passions or desires at this time, and that you have a lot of energy as well. So the first card we have, the card to clarify Sif, is the Nine of Swords. It does symbolize sorrow and mental pain. So it can even represent like nightmares, agony. However, so it can also refer to something not happening to you, but to someone that you love. So it very much represents that the mind takes on the sorrow of the world. So that was to clarify Sif, which is interesting. So, and she was about material abundance. So I'm not sure if Sif is you, or if Sif could be like your partner or someone you know, and they are experiencing this nightmare type of situation. Then for the Berserker, we have the Chariot. So the Chariot talks about success, protection, taking control of one's life. So interesting, because the Berserker, even though he's kind of taking control in a sense, he's also very wild and unbridled. You know, his energy is, yeah, it's, I wouldn't say, I mean, hey, a Berserker on a Chariot's a pretty interesting combination, but yeah, the Chariot's normally a lot more controlled energy. However, maybe it's a blessing here because there is more control of this Berserker than otherwise would be. So to clarify Cert, interesting, we have the Empress. So the Empress is like combination. So she has the energy of all the queens in the deck. The Empress is a very abundant feminine energy. I mean, the wife of the Emperor, and I mean, she is associated with the sign of Taurus or anyone with really strong Venus placings. So symbolizing fruitfulness, motherhood, can be a fertility card if that's what you are looking for or not, so be aware of that. Can even signify pregnancy and things like that. And having her with Surt, who's a very powerful male figure with this fire energy. Yeah, this is a bit like a power couple, really. So that's quite interesting too. Okay, so to clarify the Dainsleif, we have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is about expanding your horizons. So you can see here there's the ocean and there's some ships. So it's about looking at what you have and trying to make that stretch to another, into like new ventures. It can also signify collaborating with others as well. And so this is with the Dainsleif, so that's a really powerful combination. Okay, to clarify our Ewas, which was about rebirth, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. So he is younger, masculine, so we're talking like late teens to mid-30s, something like that. And he is, I wouldn't say exactly abundant in resources because he's not a king, but he has significant resources. You know, he's above the page. And the only difference here is that the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all the knights. So he always signifies steady progress, but that it's slower than if it were another knight. However, it is on the material level, so there could be some kind of rebirth, death situation with your material resources here. Then to clarify Kaunan, and this was the difficulties but overcoming, like transformative energy, we have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords does signify feeling quite alone and also feeling wounded and quite blinded as to what's going on around you. Can have the energy of humiliation and shame attached to it, as well as confusion, oppressiveness, especially on the ideas level, and isolation. So this is with the Kaunan, which was all about, I mean, it's a positive card. It does symbolize to do with knowledge and things like that. So this is saying that you are struggling in that area. However, the blindfold, I mean, is something you don't see too. To clarify Skiblinia, we have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess, so she does symbolize the feminine aspect of the spiritual. So she's linked to like your goddess and things like that. However, she is a very mysterious figure. So she has that inner knowing, you know, that intuitive kind of energy. So interesting because it's to clarify the Skiblinia, which is about, you know, getting where you need to get to, favorable winds, you know, signifying movement and things like that. So you need to rely on your intuition with that. This is to clarify the Yggdrasil, which is about the completion at the moment. And we have the Hanged Man. So this is representing going within and the inner journey and potential sacrifice of something in your life, like to get through where you're at. I mean, in the story with Odin, it's that, you know, he sacrificed one of his eyes to gain the knowledge of the runes. To clarify Healed Skjalf, we have the moon. So there is a lot of mystery here. So the Healed Skjalf was about Odin's ability to see, and he could see the worlds. However, the moon is about the unknowable. It's the mystery, you know, it's linked with the High Priestess. However, she is more the feminine mystery and intuition. The moon can be linked with intuition as well, but there's always some unknowable factor with the moon. So even though you might see things, there's something that you don't know right now that will reveal itself in the future. Okay, the next cards I'm going to pull from are the Lenormand. On the bottom we have the whip. So the whip does symbolize like violence and like oppression and conflict, but it's got a very repetitive energy to it. So it's about cycles and them repeating and things like that. So the first card we have is the Star, and this is all about wishes and good luck, and it's similar to the Star in the Tarot in that sense. So this is about the Berserker and the Chariot and the Star. So this, I'm taking it as the Berserker is like the fight you need to fight. The Chariot is the success and the fact that you need to control your energies. And this fight doesn't have to be a physical fight, obviously, but it would have that primordial kind of survival energy to it, in a sense. And then the Star is about this protection and being guided as well. The Star is linked to like the angels and that kind of energy. The next one we have is the Compass, and this is for our central card. So we have Eowaz, which is about death and rebirth and spirituality, however also protection, but liberation and magic, rebirth, awakening. And then we had the Knight of Pentacles as like material resources coming in, however there is a slower energy, there is stability though. And then we have the Compass. So this is very much about direction and, I mean, finding your true north. This is about life purpose. And, you know, it's not always what we think it is. Sometimes, you know, we might think something is comfortable or we enjoy it or that kind of thing. But that's not generally our life purpose. Generally, our life purpose is often what makes us uncomfortable. It's what makes us grow and stretch our abilities. And the next card we have for the Lenormand is the Fox. So the Fox, we've got the World Tree about cycles and completion. And then the Hanged Man, which is interesting because he's also, I mean, he's not exactly on a tree, but often he is. At least Odin was. Odin hung himself on Yggdrasil to get the wisdom of the runes. And then we have the Fox. So the Fox is associated with cunning and sly behavior. So it could mean that you need to use your cunning to complete this cycle, and in that sense of the price you need to pay to get through this time. Okay, and then the next cards we've got are the Kipper. So on the bottom of the deck, once again, we have the Gift, which is interesting. I did shuffle them. And then we have Marriage, which is, once again, okay, that was our central card yesterday. So this time Marriage with the Star. So this is a wished for marriage. This is a marriage that is basically blessed by the universe. And then we have Sudden Wealth as our central card. So this North that you need to align with, this rebirth, material resources, and finding your North and following, you know, where you need to go, you're going to become wealthy through this process. Sudden Wealth. And then the next card we have is Wealthy Man. So this maybe it's a wealthy man that needs to, or that is going through this process, and that's why he needs to use cunning. Or this wealthy man is going to be cunning. So you need to kind of take what fits in your circumstance. Is there a cunning wealthy man around you? Are you the wealthy man and you need to use your cunning? And then also, this wealthy man could be the one bringing you this wealth as well. There's a link between the man and a wealthy man and your wealth, sudden wealth, and this marriage. So there's a marriage going on here. Okay, the next cards are the rune deck. On the bottom, we have Feu, and this is a card of wealth and material resources. So that's an underlying energy here. To clarify the marriage, we have Tiwaz. So Tiwaz is the god. He's associated with the god Tia. And Tiwaz represents justice, honor, sacrifice, loyalty, and victory. So Tia had to sacrifice his arm to bind the wolf Fenrir. So there was a sacrifice that had to go on for that justice to be. So that's interesting with this marriage and the Tiwaz. So this may be some kind of sacrifice that needs to occur, but this is a very wished for marriage and wished for success with this berserker. Then we have Laguz. So Laguz is associated with flow, memory, the unconscious, fate, karma, and dreams. And this is for this, which we had, sudden wealth. So there will be this flowing wealth. Once you figure out what you need to do and where you need to go, there's going to be this stable income and this rebirth. And then the last rune today we have is Suwillow. Success, sensuality, wholeness, life force, and victory. And so this is with the wealthy man, the fox. So potentially this sun, even though it's not directly touching the fox, will expose this cunning area, and you need to figure out kind of how that fits with you here in this situation. But the sun is very protective, very positive card. So, and the sun and the tree is a really positive combination as well. Okay, the last cards we have are the Wilder Ones Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck we have gifts being recognized. I delight in my unique and blossoming talents. This is interesting because on the bottom of the kipper, we also had the gift as well. So, but that was gifts, and that's very much about talents. Okay, so this is to clarify the top. We have friends, family, and gatherings. I connect with others with ease. So this, we had here the marriage, the wish for marriage, the success with the berserker and the Tiwaz. So that's lovely. So there is some kind of gathering going on here, friends, family. And then the next one we have for our central card today is reflection and inner work first. My past supports my presence. So this was for the wealth, the flow of wealth, and the true north, the stability, and the rebirth. Reflection and inner work first. Yeah, so you need to go within to discover these things, your true north, and then the flow of abundance that will come from that. Okay, this is for the base of the matter. We have new ideas, golden pathways, I am a creator. Creation flows through me. It's interesting because we have a lot of astrology signs here. We've got like Aries. I think we've probably got all of them. Yes, they're all here. And then we don't have Pisces, but we have all these fish. We have all these planets. It's an interesting card. She has the water, like the Aquarius and the Scorpio, Cancer, Aries. We've got Gemini up here. Yeah, so that's interesting. A lot of astrology references there. And this is with the sun, and the sun going through the zodiac is interesting. And the wealthy man, the cunning, sacrifice, and the completion of a cycle. So new ideas will create golden pathways. Okay, so this is your reading for today. So the astrological musings are that the sun is still closest to Cetus, but it's in Aries. And unless you would like to count Cetus as a sign, which I actually am open to. However, yeah, it's still closest to Cetus. The Venus-Uranus conjunction is weakening, and like Venus is overtaken Uranus, and yeah, Jupiter's still in Gemini, and the moon has been in Leo all today. However, it's moving out like late tonight, early hours of the morning. It will go into Virgo. So moon in Leo is a really good time to do creative work. So it's interesting that these last few readings have brought up that kind of really creative energy, and even the theme of gold, and even the sun as well. So Leo is ruled by the sun. It's the ruler. So if you can do creative work, it's always a really good way. Even if you can't do creative work, another thing that is linked with Leo is, love. Love is a very Leo activity. So if you can spend time with your loved ones, maybe go out on a date if you're wanting to, start a new relationship, or just spending time with someone that you love, going out on a date. Or also children is another area of Leo that's ruled over by Leo. So if you have children, spend time with them, play with them, and that's a really nice way to spend. Yeah, so that playful energy. Another realm of Leo is, I'm not going to encourage it. However, maybe you could, or on another level, is gambling. So gambling is also linked to Leo, and often they're quite lucky. Often people with, strong Leo energies can be the types that might gamble, but they'll win. So it almost seems, because it is that sign of winning and success and things like that. Leo is a very strong, positive sign, being ruled by the sun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed your reading and you got something out of it, and you're doing amazing. And if this resonated at all for you, if you could like, comment, or subscribe, that would be great. I'd love to hear, how it might have resonated for you or not. And if you have already, you're amazing. And I'll be back again soon with another reading. Bye.